Hey, all right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start off by giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. I want to say double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word and truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to our fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And this is the brother Gabar Yahweh.
The brother Zahab.
Khan, and we are two of the brothers from GMS Hawaii. And we just doing another in transit video out here on our way to the Mazabak, to the altar. You know, and me and the brother, we were speaking about that Joker movie that came out, which is a good movie. You know, it's a real good movie for brothers to go check out. You know, there's a lot that you can take from that video, take from that movie, and apply it to the scriptures, and you can do edifying videos about it. You know, and me and the brother gonna do that. So, spoiler alert. You know, it's already been a weekend by the time this video come out. You know, hopefully brothers would have been seen it already. You know, if you didn't see it, maybe you might not want to keep watching this video, but hey, maybe you do. You know, so Lord willing, you do. You know, so as me and the brother were talking about, just like any of those Batman movies, it's always a war between the poor and the rich. Another Batman movie that made that clear was I think it was the one with Bane in it.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises. And that was another movie where Edomites got put to death in the movie theater, and it was a big deal. And like this movie came out, the Joker came out, and that was a big issue for a lot of the people. Was that a lot of these theaters was that there was going to be some type of action taking place by I guess some low-level person who took the movie serious. You guys know.
The group that they're concerned about were called incels, which is short for involuntary celibatories.
Yeah.
Or involuntary celibates.
Okay.
Which is like, these Edomites living with their mom in their basement that don't get any action and then take it out on the public.
Okay.
So that's why, some theaters were heavily guarded with police officers and such. And, it's just another way of provoking fear into the public to restrict some of your rights. Part of that, gun control and setting up checkpoints in every public place, man.
Hey, can you get what is it, 2 Corinthians 2 and 14? I think that's the one where it says, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. It might be 2 and 11.
Yeah, this is 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right,
and one of his devices is fear. He set up these different types of false flag events to get the people scared so that he can push and move his legislation forward. He made, like the brother was going into, made that legislation about taking weapons from the everyday average people. He ain't got to worry about that with us, but especially with them Edomites, them Edomites down south, Edomites up north, they're avid gun collectors, and they're not just collecting guns to make them look on themselves. They want something to defend themselves with. And a lot of these so-called incels, these guys is not getting no action. Basically, they ain't getting no booty.
Sexually frustrated.
Yeah, they sexually frustrated. Which we live in a sexually frustrated society. You got women 24/7, 365 days of the year, showing their bodies off all on the internet, walking all in the street, showing their bodies off. And men, you got sexually frustrated men that can't get with them. These women, they won't give you the sex unless you got the money. These women won't give you the sex unless you got some type of fame or some power. You know what I mean? So a lot of these men, they're frustrated, man. And they don't just want the fat chick, man. They want the baddest one. And they're angry that they're not looking at them, man. You got it, right?
Yeah, this is 2 Timothy 3 and 1. It says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times should come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection." And
that's what's happening, man. Natural affection is gone. People are proud, high-minded, heady. The woman, the man, because it ain't like them incels can't get no box. Is that they're not getting the kind that they want, man, or they think they deserve. You know what I'm saying? So it's got a lot of that going on with these people. A lot of people they're disobedient to their parents, to their spiritual parents, as well as to their physical parents, man. You know, matter of fact, what's that? Last week, that some rich guy, well, his father was wealthy. He killed his father because his dad was taking away his $1,000 a week allowance, man. They basically wanted him to be self-sufficient, man, and he just couldn't take it, man. Every week his allowance was dwindling from 1,000 to 600 to 300. He just couldn't live off that, man. Here, this money you getting for free, and you got a free household that you living over. And the guy end up killing his father, man. Okay. You know, so that scripture is ringing true. And you got Jake doing the same thing, killing their parents for insurance money, killing their parents behind being evil and covetous. You know, people want everything that they see somebody else with, and they actually want that. They don't want nothing like it. They want whatever that person got, man.
Yeah, because, you know, these wicked Jakes are waking up to the fact of how, you know, the Illuminati operates, how these wealthy Edomites operate. They see that they get their riches by deceit, lies, and rape and robbery and murder, man. So they're going to take after that because they're coveting the Edomites' wealth by their wickedness. You know, they can't see the benefit of you know, committing to Yahweh Shem Yahushai and following after righteousness, but reward will come of that. Because they like the Joker, like he saw he was being treated unfairly, and you know, the Batman's dad, who was what, Thomas Wayne, I think.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne. Yep.
Yeah, they saw all the wealthy people getting rich, so he just started lashing out on them. You know.
Yeah, and another thing too, that the wealthy or the so-called elite, the mega rich, you know, these people, they flaunt their wealth in front of you, man, and they act like that their wealth is they use their wealth to lord over people, man. Like Thomas Wayne had made a statement in the movie saying that basically, like those 3 Edomites that got put to death, like the Joker, he put them to death out of self-defense. Yeah, it was just his gun wasn't registered, but he put them together, and then he put them to death out of self-defense because they were messing with him. And he had a problem with laughing, like he had some type of mental illness that made him laugh all the time, like when he was nervous. And he saw that the Edomites was harassing a woman, and they throwing fries at her and shit. But what did they say about him when they hit the news? Oh, they were nice guys. They made, you know, he said, Thomas Wayne said personally, I didn't know them personally, but they were good guys. Just like that chick Amber Geiger, man. You rested judgment on her because she seemed like she was remorseful, man, when she was a whole fucking demon. Yeah. You know?
What's that scripture? Although he go crouching.
Oh yeah, 2nd Esdras, chapter 12, start at 10. Because these Edomites, because of their wealth or their status, or just because they're Edomites in this society, they get judgment rested upon them when they're not in trouble like other men. When they go to court, they're not really stressing like we stress when we got to go to court. These Edomites, they got their money, and their money is their power in the society, their wealth, man. Because why? It allows them to do things that the average man can't do, and it allows them to be proud. That's Psalm 73. You know, they speak wickedly concerning oppression. Thomas Wayne, he was speaking wickedly concerning oppression, and I don't know if you noticed at the end when they got put to death. When the Waynes got put to death, what kind of movie was they coming out of, man? They were coming out from seeing a movie called Gay Blade and Blowout and Gay Blade, which those are pornographic movies, man. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, you gotta watch the movie. You gotta watch the movie again. Look at the theater they're coming out of, and they show the name of the movie that they're the name of the movies that they're coming out of, which I found ironic. Like
they found the inspiration for that movie out of.
No. So the movies, right, back then, it was set in the 70s. And in New York City, which is another name for New York City is Gotham, a lot of the movie theaters show pornographic movies where people paid money to go to a movie theater to watch porn. Like it was big. And so the names of those movies that the Waynes were coming out of and that other people were running out of because they saw all the unrest going on, it was pornographic movies. One was called Blowout and one was called what's the other name? Of it? Blowout and I forget the name of the one, the second one I just said. But I know for sure that one was called Blowout, and the other one was called like Gay Blade. Somebody to Gay Blade. So they were showing what kind of movie, what kind of mentality that the rich will go to the movies with their wife and child to go see, and they had children running out of that theater.
Yeah,
you know, which that goes back to pedophilia.
Because Batman was young at that time, and he was with his parents.
Yeah,
and a fucking porno.
And a porno movie, man.
Damn,
watching a porno, man. Yeah. So those kinds of things that you see that the so-called mega rich, the wealthy, they're into that kind of low life, despotic living, man, filthy living, man. You know, you got it, brother.
This is Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Yeah, and that's right. It means it never goes away. You can't get rid of rust. Now you can try to cover it up, you can try to oil it up, but you can't get rid of rust. It's like it's a decaying thing.
It's a chemical reaction. You either have to cut it all off, and replace that metal that you cut out, kind of like rotting wood.
Yeah,
you can't just like damp it out or anything. You have to cut it off basically.
Yeah, and even still, the rust is not all the way gone. Mm-hmm. So that's how Esau is, man. Yeah, you see this guy in a suit and tie. He's on TV talking about how the poor they just don't want to work hard enough, and they're just angry at the wealthy. This is how the wealthy think. They think that the people are going to be angry at them because of their life. They were afforded a life better than you, and they worked hard, which they didn't. A lot of that money came through inheritance, through wickedness. You know what I'm saying? And so they look at the low people as nothings. And that's what Thomas Wayne was doing to the people. And he said, what did he say out of his mouth? Same thing Trump said. Hey, I'm the best thing they got. They need me. That's why I'm running for mayor. I'm the best thing they have. You got it, man.
It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Yeah.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
Keep reading.
And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
Yeah, so that rust, it hasn't been wiped away, man. It's still there. It's still that dross, that wickedness. No matter what they do to cover it up, it's still there, and it won't go nowhere, man. And that's why you're not supposed to trust your enemy. Like the Joker, he thought that dude was bringing him on the show. Well, actually, he was smarter, because he knew that he was coming on that show to be ridiculed, man, and mocked, and made a mockery of, man. And the poor, that's what's being done to them. And you saw that uprising. They were like, oh man, death to Thomas Wayne, whatever, death to the rich. We're not clowns, So the poor people, the low people, they're gonna realize that, hey, this man has been this enemy the whole time, and they're not gonna trust him. They didn't trust Wayne, and they could see through him, but other people couldn't.
Yeah, kind of. And I'll say this, like I got more out of it, like looking back at the other Joker movie, the other Batman movie that the Joker was in. It kind of brought out like it was really Esau divided against Esau, like the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Because really a righteous Israelite isn't going to take action in that, even though he's pushed into a corner.
Yeah.
A more Israelite or a righteous Israelite character to resemble with would be what's his name? The Two-Face character, because
Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent, because he left it up to chance. There's a 50-50 chance. Like he'd flip a coin.
Yeah, he casted a lot.
Yeah, he casted a lot.
Yeah.
And Batman kept it on an extreme of like him trying to take counters into his own hand and like execute righteous judgment, so to speak, or his self-righteous judgment, I should say.
Yeah.
And the Joker was just on the flip side of that, Yep.
But
really, it's order ab chaos on both sides.
Come on, brother.
Just like you got how Esau controls the cops and the crime on both sides.
Yep.
There's just, in the comic world or the comic universe, it's just exaggerated, because they have super-like powers or something.
Yep. Yeah, man. And so another thing you saw in that movie was a lot. I don't know what movie theater you went to go see it at, but there's another movie that's about to come out, and they showed the trailer for it, and that Terminator movie, and in that Terminator movie they showed concentration camps, man. Like they had people, like the matter of fact, the new Terminator is a Mexican. He's a Latino, man, a Northern Kingdom guy, and he's the Terminator, and he couldn't die, and every time you kill him or try to kill him, he just multiplied, and then they showed him going through the immigration prison camp, and he was just killing all these immigration officers, man. He was dressed as one, but he was just killing them because he was trying to get. Yeah, matter of fact, the new John Connor is a Mexican girl, is a Latina. Yeah, so that's gonna be good. That's gonna be a good movie to go watch, man. You know, you can pull out a lot of stuff in that movie, man. But especially them immigration camps, those concentration camps that they're gonna put people in, man.
Oh yeah, I also read an article on RT explaining, like, the director said, like, if the minorities, like the so-called blacks and Latinos, took related to that Joker film, then it was going to be the police are our enemies and the white people are our enemies.
No, go get it. You got it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, go ahead and pull that up, man. Yeah, and that's right, man. That's 2nd Esdras 15, man. There's going to be sedition amongst men. And that's what was happening. That's what the Joker incited. Sedition amongst men. After he killed those rich people on a train, which he said he liked doing it. He's a demon. But he incited sedition amongst men. But he said out his mouth that he's not with no cause. He don't believe in nothing. And that's Esau. And that's like the brother was said, it was Esau divided against Esau, man. Which Batman is an Edomite, man. You know, he said out his own mouth, his superpower is that he's rich.
Yeah, he said that in
that Justice League movie, yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, he said, like, what's your superpower? I'm rich. You know? So anytime that wealth gets snatched away from him, he's gonna be powerless, man. And what did Batman do? He tried to keep the establishment going, man. You know? He tried to keep the establishment going. He was protecting it. But the Joker, he just didn't give a fuck, man. He would just kill people, burn people, and he didn't care about the establishment, man. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, it says, this is that article according to RT News. The title is called Patron Saint of Incels, ? Outrage over Joker is a bad joke. It says,
yeah, that's another thing too, is that they try to make it sound like it was about sex, because it was wild though. I ain't gonna tell the whole movie, but it was wild with him and that Jake chick. Like, we actually thought, you know, that situation was a real situation.
It's all in his head.
Yeah.
It's all a fantasy, man.
Yeah, he's bugged out, man. But he was already crazy, man. You know? God, like, damn, man, a nigga woman would be with anybody, man. You know? She don't care what he look like, how skinny he is, or nothing. You know? Bugged out and crazy. Well, she's crazy. She's bugged out and crazy.
Yeah, this is it says in 1989, Joe Klein, a critic for New York, wrote an infamous piece on Spike Lee's iconic film Due to the Right Thing. It says, Klein wrote, if Lee does hook large black audiences, there's a good chance the message they take from the film will increase racial tensions.
That's going to happen, film or not. You know, that's why that Amber Gargan situation happened, to show you that Jake life ain't worth shit down here. They gave her, what, 10 years? You know, she'll be out in 5, maybe 3, with good behavior. You know what I'm saying? And that's to get Jake all excited. And even the white man was taken back how Jake was such a house nigga spirit that he can forgive him for such an action, man. That woman got committed a murder, but when you Jakes get committed, when you Jakes get she got found guilty of murder. But when Israelites get found guilty of murder and they throw the book at you and you don't get no fucking hug and no gift from the judge, man. You don't get none of that. You don't get no support. Nobody feels sorry for you. Nobody rubbing the back of your head to comfort you. They're not doing that to you.
You lucky if you don't get a bullet to the back of the head.
Exactly, man, before you hit the courtroom, man. So a lot of Jakes gonna take that and they're gonna get excited behind that shit, man. You know? Because it's just there to stir the pot. Really, that's there to stir the pot, man. And that movie that the brother was speaking about in the article, Do the Right Thing, you had that. You had cops killing Jake for no reason, using what they call it, extreme force. And what it do? Jake start rioting, man. So go ahead.
It says, if they react violently, which can't be ruled out. Klein went on to write that the sole message black teens would take from the film was the police are your enemy and white people are your enemy.
Which they are. They actually are. Whether you a police of our people or you a police of the Edomites, you are the enemy, man. You nothing more than a revenue officer for the elite. You know? And on top of that, the white man is our enemy, man. He's been our enemy since day one. The so-called white man. You know? They don't want you to look at the so-called white man as your enemy. The rich don't want to be looked at as your enemy. Like, all hell was breaking loose, and the title on the page was, in that movie, The Joker, was Eat the Rich, man. Eat the rich. You fucked up, you poor, you need some help, eat the rich, man. Because they're the ones that's taken from you, man. Go ahead.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. So go to 2nd Esdras chapter 15, or start at verse 14. Baba Kasha. Yeah, man, because that's going to happen, man. And it's going to be race riots, man. It's going to be class riots, too. It's going to be food riots. Go ahead.
It says 2nd Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
Yep, that's what's coming. Go ahead.
And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Right, and that one people, one different races. You know, chiefly, it's going to be the so-called Latino, so-called black, Hispanic, Native Indian. They're going to get together, man. And they're going to realize that the so-called white man, the nation of Edom, is the enemy, man. And then you're going to have all these other different ethnicities. They're going to go back to their people. That's in the scriptures. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it says that they shall go to their own lands, man. They're not going to be wanting to stay here, man.
It says, for there shall be sedition among men.
Yeah, and when you look up that sedition, as speech that incites people to go against the powers that be. And that's what was happening in that movie, The Joker. It was they were rioting and looting and going against the system. Okay? And Joker's speech, his rhetoric, it incited the people to do that, man. You know? Once they seen what happened to the Joker, why he did what he did, you know, he basically killed the rich, man. And they were like, yeah, get him, because what are the rich doing? They're exploiting the people, man. So a lot of these people, they're going to be inflamed or incensed by rhetoric that's going to tell them, hey, the reason why you're poor, the reason why you don't have nothing is because of them. It's because of them, you know?
Yeah, because that's the spirit too, because the Joker was kind of like a death angel, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because what he said, he was like, I don't care about politics.
Yeah.
I just killed him because I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know?
Which he didn't. He didn't kill him because he wanted to.
Yeah.
He killed him out of self-defense, man.
Yeah.
They were beating his ass, man. They were stepping over him. He said if Slakia, brother.
No.
Baba Kasha. He said that if it was me laying on the ground like that, you would just walk over me. And that's how people feel. Mm-hmm. Poor people feel that way every day. You know, if it was me laying on the ground, you would walk over me. But if it's because they were wealthy or rich or whatever, now everybody's heart's going out for them, man.
Mm-hmm. It says, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
And everybody was doing exactly what the fuck they wanted to do in that movie, man. Meaning that they're not going to listen to the mayor. They're not going to listen to the judge. They're not going to listen to the politician. They're not going to listen to the president. They're going to do whatever it is in their hand because they're going to be invading each other.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of police and military, too, are going to, what they call, go AWOL.
Yep.
You know, because they're going to realize that they're just pawns in the elite's, war games, man.
That's right.
Because, hey, I'll tell you this. There's a lot of, I think, this statistics, according to statistics, I mean, a lot of statistics are, fudged, but I think it's somewhere around like 80% of police officers are actually Irish, you know? And the being a police officer, especially like in crime, like high crime places, that's not like that's pretty much a blue collar job. You know, you're risking your life. They're trying to get back home and stuff, but at the same time, they're still doing the white man's bidding. It's still part of the system. But the moment they realize that, they just have, Black Lives Matter pinned against Blue Lives Matter, and that it's, just another distraction, just another form of politics to get caught up in, they're going to turn against the mayor and the princes and kings. They're going to go their own way, man.
Hey, well, you got right now France and New York City. France is a country, but also New York City as well. They're having a problem with suicide from cops, man. Cops are killing themselves, man. By the dozens, man. About a week, every week, like 2 and 3 people are police officers are dropping dead, and they're trying to figure out what is the problem. Well, because they realize the shit they're in, man. That blue wall of silence, that's exactly what that is, man. And the whole judicial system is wrapped around it, man. It's meant to protect them. And all kinds of wicked shit is going on. And you overwork, like the cops in France, they're being overworked, man. And they're getting the same pay to risk their life to stop these fucking green vest protests. Look at what's going on in Hong Kong, man. Hong Kong right now, them police are being overworked 24 hours a day, man. Why? Just to fight against, they're basically an army to help what? To fight and protect the status quo, the system, man, the so-called government. Here it is. You got an army. Why you ain't bringing them niggas out? You got cops doing shit that they shouldn't be doing. And that's why they do these exercises for mass what do they call it?
Protests.
Yeah, mass protests, man. With the long shields, the full body shields, like Rome. Right. Yeah, like Romans. They're nothing more than a standing army for any major city, man. And a lot of them being overworked and underpaid. Or if they are getting the overtime, man, they still getting fucked, man, because they're getting less sleep. And on top of that, they're being looked at as the enemy, man.
Yeah. When at the same time, like, they agree with like a lot of the politics that the protesters believe in. Yep. Because they're getting paid the same. Yep. Having to do having to put up with the same bullshit. It's just on the flip side,
Yep, that's
like
right.
That same shit, different air freshener.
Yep.
Yep. That's basically all the politics is, man. It's just one extreme against another. Yeah, and it's all a board game for the super elite. That's why you got the apocalypse. Yeah. Yeah. Where'd it go?
Yeah, man, because these super elite, they know that their time is up, man. They know that the chicken are coming home to roost, man, and they're trying to escape it. Here it is. They've been playing a film from behind the scenes all this time, and now the people are about to get to a point where they're not gonna be, they're tired of the shit, man. They're gonna come after you, But the super elite, they're gonna make it out of here. But you low-level Edomites, man, if you're not part of the super elite, you're through, man. You got the super elite buying bunkers over there in Germany, all the way over there in Germany trying to hide underneath of the ground, and they got the money to pay for it. You got it, brother?
Yeah, this is a CNN article called "Billionaire Bunkers: How the 1% Are Preparing for the Apocalypse." It says a number of companies around the world are meeting and growing demand for structures that protect from any risk, whether it's a global pandemic, an asteroid, or World War III, while also delivering luxurious amenities.
Yeah, and it ain't like they just hiding because they scared. They trying to hide in comfort, man, because these people are used to the comforts of life, man. So they're trying to hide their money, their gold, They're trying to hide their art, their art, all that shit, man. Shit, they're trying to hide themselves, man. Go ahead.
It says many of the world's elite, including hedge fund managers, sports stars, and tech executives, Bill Gates is rumored to have bunkers at all his properties, have chosen to design their own secret shelters to house their families and staff.
Yep. And that's it on that. Go to Amos 9 and 2, man.
Okay. Alright, this is Amos chapter 9, verse 2. Though they dig into hell, thence shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down.
Yep.
And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I commend the serpent, and he shall bite them.
So basically, there's no place that you so-called super elite can hide, man. You know, because there's no use for a hedge fund person when all hell breaks loose, man. You know, when this economy collapses, when America is destroyed, you're not going to be a survivor, man. It's not going to be no reason for you sports stars, you so-called rap stars, none of you people that got that money. It's not your usefulness is going to be outlived, man. The only ones that's going to survive this coming destruction is the super elite, man. You know, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all their ilk, man, because they're going into hardcore slavery, man. All right, they're going into they're going to be destroyed, man. Okay, and they're going to be the first fruits of slavery, man. So whether you hide in the mountains, whether you dig into the ground, into the holes in the ground, that's not going to protect you from its destruction. Hey, you got wealthy people in America that are buying some old missile silos in America to try to hide from the World War II. But you're gonna die in them boats. You're gonna die in them. You're gonna die in those old silos. Why? Because the whole of America is gonna be destroyed. Okay, it ain't gonna just be the surface. You ain't gonna be opening up no fucking bunker and then coming out and living. Nah, the whole America gonna be turned inside out. It's gonna be melted, man. So let's say you do got a bunker here in North America. Guess what's gonna happen? You gonna die in that shit. All that millions of tons of debris over top of that shit. You're not gonna get out of that. Okay.
I got a precept.
Come on, brother.
This is Revelation 6 and 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
Yeah. So, hey, what's the Rocky Mountains and shit? Yosemite Park, Appalachian Mountains. That shit gonna go from there to a whole nother state, man. That's how the mountains are going to be moved out of their place, man. It's not gonna be where you thought it was. It's not gonna just crumble right there, bro. Cause that destroying wind is gonna sweep this whole motherfucking country like a broom. The bosom of destruction, man. Hey, you find that one? Get that switcher, Kahan. The bosom. We got the brother Kahan Allah here with us too, man.
Hey, shalom, Yahabashima Shai Brakatam.
It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains.
And that's right, because they got, I don't know if you brothers ever saw that movie, the first Kingsman. The first Kingsman movie that came out with Samuel L. Jackson in it, man. He had all of them super elite hiding in the mountains and shit, man. They got a text message that shit was about to go down, and they got up out of there, man. They got on their private jets and planes, and they flew into this place to hide themselves, man. And that's what they're going to do. Why? Because they don't want to die, and they're not. The super elite, they're not going to die. Why? Because they're going to be the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven.
It says, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne.
Yeah, they scared of Yahushua, man. And that's why Trump is starting that. He started that Space Force, man, as something to fight against Yahushua when he comes, man. You know, you got that scripture, brother?
There's a little more.
Oh, come on, brother.
It says, and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day is of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Yeah, you can break it down.
Yeah, man.
The
Because
bosom of destruction.
like the elder said, you know,
bosom of destruction.
you know, they're scared of Yahweh Shai, and from the nuclear destruction, you know, because man, when the scriptures describe, you know, like the brother's about to get the besom of destruction, it's like a sweeping. You ever see a hockey player do that slap shot? If you ever watch a live game, you can't see the puck because of how fast they hit that shit. And that's how, you know, shrapnel from these mountains are going to be swept away, man.
Yep.
You know, like he said, the Appalachian Mountains, you know, they go into like multiple states, and it's not going to crumble right there, man. It's going to be like shrapnel going from one part of the country to the other.
That's right.
Maybe one part of the world to another.
That's right.
Rearranging the continents, man.
Yeah, that's in the scriptures too, where it's like you're not going to be able to tell where one end started and where it ended, man.
Yeah, the borders of confusion.
Yep. Yeah, you can get that too. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Con.
This is the book of Isaiah 14 and 21. The point is in 23. It says, prepare his slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Yeah, that's all those Edomites, man. And a lot of you Edomites, like when we go out there preaching the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, and you find out that it's against you, you're like, oh, well, I didn't have any slaves, I didn't do anything. Well, like, hey, Mitch McConnell, man, he said that he don't think that they should have to pay for something that happened 150 years ago. Also, Joe Biden said he'd be damned if he has to suffer for the sins of his forefathers, man. He's worried about his sins that he committed right now. That's what he said, man. But so they're being reproached. So slaughter they're being reproached for their father's sake, but also slaughter being prepared for them, you know, because they are their forefathers in the reincarnation. They just don't know. Go ahead.
Verse 22, for I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh, by Shem Shai, power of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith Yahweh.
Yeah.
I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith Yahweh, power of hosts.
So the Lord going to take that besom of destruction, and can you look up that word for besom in the blue letter? It's like a sweeping, like a broom, you know. And that destruction is coming. The Most High is going to level America, man. He's going to level this place, man. All these great rivers, they're going to be dried up. What you got, the Mississippi River, the Delta, all that shit, that's going to be dried up. Okay? All these big mountains, Yosemite Park, and they worried about some type of earthquake shaking that up. I think it's called Yosemite Park or whatever that shit is called. It's over down there in the west. I forget the name of that park, man. But I think it's Yosemite or something like that.
Yellowstone,
Salaka, Yellowstone Park, man. Yeah. So they worried about earthquake, the tectonic plate going off, and that shit just exploding because it's like a powder keg. Well, guess what? That's going to happen because the earth going to rock to and fro from them nuclear missiles, man. So, and on top of that, you got nuclear reactors in different places in America. On top of that, you got oil stored in all these different places. That shit burned for days, man. You can't put an oil fire out with water. You know what I'm saying? So then and then on top of that, the nuclear missiles, and then the chariot fire. Oh, this place is about to be leveled, man. You got it, brother.
Kind of that word besom is ma'atha. I believe that.
Mata'ama, yeah.
Mata'ama.
Yeah.
It says broom, besom. It says apparently a denominated form of H2916. It says a broom as removing dirt to remove dust.
And that's what's going to happen. That destruction, that destroying wind, it's like going to be like a broom. You ever sweep a broom, and you notice how like when you sweep the dust, it goes everywhere like this, like a wave. Well, that's how that destruction is going to come. The besom or the broom of destruction, man. It's going to level America, man. Okay? All the flammable shit that's here in America, and this place is going to be, it's not going to look like you're not going to be able to tell the borders that this devil done carved into the earth, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. That was it on that, brother?
Yeah, kind of.
Khan, you gonna get the last scripture.
All right. This isn't exactly it, but it touches on it. This is Isaiah 34:11. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness.
Yeah, because those animals that the brother was just reading out, those are desert-like creatures, man. Those birds, the unclean birds, man, that's gonna inhabit this place. It ain't gonna be no humans, no Arabs pitching tent here. It ain't gonna be no people living in this place. It ain't gonna be no you see these post-apocalyptic movies and people just living underground or just living barely making it. Nah. The only thing that's gonna be here is those desert creatures, and then on top of that, those lines of confusion, meaning you're not gonna tell where Rhode Island started or ended, or where New York started and ended, or where California started and ended, or where Pennsylvania and all these different Oklahoma, all that shit's gonna be done away with, man. It's just gonna be lines of all those lines of confusion gonna be melted away, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's just gonna be a fucking lake of fire for a long time, and after that, smoke, man, and after that, desert, man.
One quick preview.
Come on, brother.
This is Jeremiah 51:58. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh by Shem Yahushai." It says, "The broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in their fire, and they shall be weary."
Yep. Yeah. So, you can break it down.
Yeah, kind. Oh, you got it?
No, you got it.
Yeah, man. So, as the scriptures say all throughout, man, the judgment of Babylon is nuclear fire, man. And then there's nothing that's gonna be left here because, as we know, and as the scriptures tell us, Babylon the Great is the pinnacle of wickedness, man. It ain't no other kingdom, no other rulership that committed wickedness as much as Babylon has done. That's why it tells you in Revelation that her sins have reached unto heaven. And that's why the Lord got his eyes on Babylon to completely destroy it, man. So that there is no remembrance of what Babylon was.
Yeah. You can close it out.
So with that, Akim, we hope the lesson was edifying. Again, call hello Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach Kodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Mosul for teaching his truth and for ruling well. And peace and salutation to all you Akim out there pushing and defending this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. Yeah. So the next time, Lord willing, Shalom.
Shalom. Close. Stop it.